And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote. And today's quote is, "In the real estate business, you learn more about people and you learn more about community issues. You learn more about life. You learn more about the impact of the government, probably than in any other profession that I know of." And that is from Johnny Isaacson, one of our senators. With us today in the studio, we have someone who works in the field of real estate business and is going to talk to us about real estate. His name is Elliott Oliva. Hello, Elliott.
Hi, Basil. Thank you for having me here today. I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, good. My pleasure. I know you wonder about what we're going to talk about, but don't worry.
A little bit, yeah. That's okay. I guess I like surprises when I don't have a choice.
Don't say that part. All right, tell us, Elliott, how do you wind up getting into the real estate?
Well, I actually started I've been in real estate and mortgage business since '97. I spent most of my career in finance, doing real estate, helping people become homeowners by providing them with the financing. But over the last couple of years, I actually transitioned into real estate business because I was ready for a change, but I just saw the opportunity to help people in a capacity that was not only good for them, but good for myself as well. I was originally from Austin, Texas, moved out here about 5 years ago, and I saw how great the market is out here and how some communities may have been a little underserved, so I decided to make the transition. Had a lot of, I'm actually at Keller Williams McLean, and I did a lot of business with some of the agents there, and a lot of them have, over the years have encouraged me to make the change, and I finally decided to get out of my way and been doing it ever since, and I'm just having a great time with it.
Okay.
And I meet a lot of great people like yourself.
Thank you.
I get to help people learn and develop and grow my business, so kind of wish I would have done it a long time ago, but I'm here now and I'm enjoying it, and again, this is a great market to be in. So I'm here to help, essentially.
Okay. So would you say that the knowledge you have in finance is helping you now in real estate?
Oh yeah, it's helped me immensely because, half the battles unless you're paying cash for a house, half the battles getting the financing in place.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And actually getting it in place before you go shop for a home. I always tell people, don't buy your next home the way you bought your last car. And I'm sure we've all done it. You go out, look for a car and fall in love with it and spend the whole day at the dealership trying to get the financing done, which sometimes it doesn't work out.
I see what you're talking about.
What I teach people to do is get a solid pre-approval. Get to a lender that's going to review your credit, make sure your credit scores are there. Based on your credit scores, they'll tell you what programs you qualify for. Verify your income, and then your debt. That's going to tell you how much house you can afford. And then based on your down payment, then once I can tell you how much house you can afford, what's your price range. And then, that's the financing end of it. At that point, then my job is to figure out what you're looking for in a home. Okay. What are your goals in buying a house? Are you looking for something for yourself, for an investment, a second home, or fix and flip? And then what are your other motivations? Fix and flip, correct?
Oh, fix and flip.
Yeah,
okay.
I deal with a lot of investors that are looking to make money in real estate by buying houses that need a little bit or a lot of work. They purchase it, and then I help them get on the market and sell it quickly for top dollar.
Gotcha.
So, in getting back to the fix and flip, in this market out here, like I said, it's a great market out here, but the inventory is really low. Houses are selling fast, and we have more buyers than sellers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So what do
is that good or what?
It's good for sellers because their houses are selling quickly. In Fairfax County, houses are selling on average about 25 days. Over this time last year, they were selling in about 43 days. So that's about a 40% increase or decrease in selling times, and that's great. That's great for the seller, but for the buyer, there's not a lot to choose from.
Gotcha.
Especially, maybe the houses that they really want are out of their price range, or the houses that they really want just go too quick. So what I'm doing to help my clients to overcome that is I'm presenting them with houses that need a little bit of work, that maybe aren't fixed up and have the brand new granite countertops and Sub-Zero appliances and all that good stuff. I'll show them a house.
Sub-Zero plan?
Sub-Zero refrigerator, very high end.
Okay.
The huge double doors.
Oh,
I mean, it's like buying a small car. So, so what I'm showing them are properties that are, below what their pre-approved price ranges that need a little bit of work. So, because there's actually loan programs where you can buy a house and get the money to renovate it with just 3.5% down. So rather than trying to extend yourself and buy someone else's dream or someone else's taste and fit and finish, I can show you a house that needs a little work, get you the financing for it so we can make it your dream.
Gotcha.
And then still be below market and within your price range. So, and there's, like I said, there's great financing for that. And now what a lot of people get worried about, well, if I close on this loan and I'm waiting to get all the renovations done, that may take 5 or 6 months, I'm still having to pay rent or my current mortgage, and then have a new payment on the new mortgage. Well, the lenders that I've aligned myself with will allow you to roll up to 6 months of those payments into the loan. So you'll just still be making your current house payment, or if we sell the house for you as well, but still you won't have that other payment on the new home for up to 6 months when we structure it correctly. Okay. So people have options, and my job is to just show them what those options are and let them know there's ways to get in the market where otherwise they thought they couldn't.
Okay, very good, excellent, thank you. Now let me ask you mentioned that you're helping the underserved, that the opportunity to help the underserved. You mentioned that. What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, I'm a part of the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, which is the largest minority trade group in America. And we're all real estate practitioners, loan officers, tax attorneys, title companies. And our mission is to expand homeownership in the Hispanic community by empowering the real estate professionals that serve them. So what do we do? What do I mean by that? Well, we help develop new up-and-coming real estate professionals or lenders to serve the Hispanic community by putting together workshops on education programs that are specific to Latinos. As I was mentioning before, Latinos come here, they work hard, they have a strong cultural identity, but they need help with their economic identity. So that's where we come in and educate them about personal banking. I have relatives from Mexico that have been reluctant to open up a bank account here because in their home country they put their money in the bank. It may not be there the next day.
Oh, I see.
So we start with the basics. Put your money in the bank. This is what the FDIC does. Getting direct deposit, using a check card. That's the basics. That's the first part. The second part is we teach people about consumer credit. Once you get all your banking in place and you make a habit of paying your bills and being able to document your finances, then the next step is consumer finance and building your credit. The easiest way to do that is with a secured credit card, because some of the bigger banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they offer secured credit cards. So that builds their credit scores. And then the third step is to educate them about mortgages. Because there's a lot of Latinos in the community that work hard, put away money, then they decide they're ready to buy a home, they have a bunch of cash to buy a home, but then they don't have any credit.
Okay.
Or they've already messed their credit up because no one's really taught them about it from the get-go. So that's one of our biggest missions, and one of my biggest missions is to address those issues and build new programs to implement them in the communities through the real estate professionals in our organization. Okay. And not just in our organization, anyone that'll listen that's willing to help and passionate about this business in the community. So I'm very, very happy to be in a position to be able to have an effect somewhere.
Okay.
Every bit helps.
Okay, good, very good, excellent. And last time we met, we was at NARET meeting, and there was a group of NARET members, and they was working on policies, and they were going to the Hill to get to make their voice known and understood. Can you tell us more about it, and what was the goal of that action? Well,
as part of NARA, aside from developing our members and creating opportunities for everybody to collaborate, we have a strong voice on the Hill. We have a pretty strong lobby. So we go up on the Hill once or twice a year to talk about legislation that's important to the real estate market that affects everyone, not just the Latino community. For example, some of the new regulations passed under Dodd-Frank Act, like the qualified residential mortgage provision, you know, if some of those provisions pass, it's going to keep a lot of people from being able to buy homes. For example, just like down payment requirements. It may require everyone to put at least 20% down. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, but that's just one of the many provisions that we've been up on the Hill talking to our legislators about to vote against it, or at least to modify certain provisions of the Dodd-Frank Act, which was passed a few years ago. Yes, another provision that's been kind of prohibitive was HVCC, which is a Home Valuation Code of Conduct. In short, when that was passed a few years ago, it said a loan officer, once he took your application and once you found a property that you liked and you're in a contract, the loan officer could no longer directly order that appraisal on his own. So rather than being able to order it from a professional he knew does good work in the area, that's familiar with the area, it now has to go through what's called an appraisal management company, an AMC, which is a third-party company that's contracted by different lenders to find you an appraiser for your property. So let's say I'm the loan officer, I have to order it through the AMC, and they have several appraisers under the independent contractors on round robin that they just pick randomly. They're not always the appraisers with the best market knowledge. A lot of times they're from one state over that don't know the area very well, and most of the time they're the lowest bidders. So we've had a ton of appraisal issues. So that's just one of the many issues that we're trying to get addressed and get our voices heard, because you know our industry is suffering for it. You know, a lot of times the government gets a little too involved in the market. You know, we do have to have safeguards, but in this situation, it's the cure is worse than the ailment. But you know, we're working on it, and you know how it goes.
Going from the frying pan into the fire.
So it's frustrating, but you know, it's a good cause, and at the end of the day, you know, we are making progress, slowly but surely. But you know, we won't relent. We're going to be here for a long time, trying to make it easier for people to get in homes and be part of the American dream.
Okay, good. That's
and everybody, not just the Hispanic community. I work with everybody.
Sure.
We work with everybody. So.
Definitely. Very good. In fact, that's part of the rules and regulation for real estate. I took in his real estate class, the 7 point where no discrimination regarding sex, religion, and whatever. So definitely.
The Fair Housing Act.
Fair Housing Act, exactly. Yeah.
So there's several different versions of that, and we have to know it by heart. But really, at the end of the day, if you're passionate and you like what you do and you lead with your heart, you're not going to discriminate against anybody anyway.
Sure.
Unfortunately, there are some people that get in there anyhow. And there's rules in place for those people like that, but you know, the market weeds out those people fairly quickly. But you know, we still have to have guides and regulations in place just so everyone stays aware of it, and no one gets too relaxed. So.
Makes sense. I understand. Now, my next question is to you: is what is your biggest personal challenge? Not personally, I mean, up to you to choose, not necessarily professional, but as an individual. What would you consider your biggest challenge?
My personal challenge?
Your biggest challenge?
Well, is staying organized, time management. As you know, I'm a board member for NAREP, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a husband, I'm a father of a 2-year-old, and that 2-year-old can throw off your schedule. You know.
Can flip in.
Yeah, you know, I'm going on about 3 hours of sleep right now. But that's all right, you know, she wakes up and anyway, I don't want to get into too many of the details, but you know, sometimes it's easy to get your schedule shifted and thrown off, and that's really the hardest part. I mean, because I live by my calendar from about 7 in the morning until about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Everything is organized on my calendar on my phone. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of variables
emergencies
that throw everything off. So that's, you know, honestly, that's my biggest challenge, and I'm working on it. I even have a personal coach to help me with it and to keep me accountable. So time management really comes down to accountability. You know, it's one thing to be accountable for yourself, and even the most successful people that I know also have accountability or business coaches to help them with that. And it took me a while to really accept that and say, yeah, I need that too. And I've only started that in the last month or two, and I'm starting to see results, and it's helped me. So you have to be honest with yourself and not be afraid to say, yeah, I need help. I'm not as good as I can be. I know I can do better. Let me get some help. In anything you do, you know, real estate, you know, if you're a plumber or whatever, doctor. you can always be a little bit better than you were yesterday,
Most
and it
definitely.
doesn't hurt to get some help.
I guess it's the technical name for that is progress. Am I correct?
Pardon me?
The technical name for that is progress.
Progress, yeah. If we want to get technical, yes. Or really evolving, So, and I'm kind of like a caveman because it's taken me this long to evolve this far. So I'm getting there. In 100 years, I'll be amazing. So,
Or sooner.
yeah, hopefully. I'm not getting any skinnier or healthier yet. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now my next question to you is, what is your biggest success?
My biggest success, well, I mean, outside of work is my marriage and my child, being a father, being a husband, and just trying to be better at that every day too. Okay. And learning how to be patient. When it's easy to be patient when things are going your way, but when the baby's crying and something's burning in the kitchen, or, it's hard to be patient, or if you haven't had any sleep or any coffee yet. That's when you really see how good or bad you are at what you do, is when the stuff's hitting the fan. So that kind of success is gradual for me. It's taken a little time, but I'm starting to see the fruits of that labor and that patience is a little bit better life every day. I've loved watching my kid grow up, my wife being the beautiful mother that she is, and I have a lot of things to be thankful for. So every day in having this life with her and here in this area is a success for me, and I couldn't be happier. So the things that I need to work on are great because I'm more enthusiastic to work on these things having that kind of a support system at home.
Very
So
good.
coming home to something like that is wonderful, and I'm a pretty happy guy.
It's very good, excellent. That's good, congratulations.
And it kind of spills over in my business because one thing I like in the real estate business as opposed to the mortgage business is that I get to be out in the field more often and meet people. I mean, especially this part of the country, you meet some very interesting people, highly educated, highly motivated people. And proximity, they say proximity to power is empowering. So when I moved here from Austin, I could see the difference in the culture. Not just from different racial backgrounds, but different motivational backgrounds. People are a lot more driven out here, and it makes you want to do better as well. And that's exciting. So, it's just those little things like that I pick up on and appreciate every day that allow me to enjoy what I do for a living and my personal life and all that. So it's good.
Okay, excellent. And what are your future plans?
My future plans? Well, for business is just to keep growing my business, building a team around me. I do have a couple of people that are that I'm helping develop, become agents as well. Okay. Because the more successful that you get as a real estate agent, the quality of your work can go down. So you have to build a team of specialists around you, because you don't want a real estate agent that's trying to be the master of everything. A good real estate agent is going to put a great support team. By the beginning of the year, I'll have 1 or 2 showing agents that can assist me with buyers. Maybe a listing specialist. Definitely, I have an admin already that helps me with a lot of the contracts and follow through on my transactions. Maybe a social media marketing specialist. I do a lot of that myself because I enjoy doing it. But I'm not going to be able to get to the next tier until I can leverage more resources and get good people in place to do that, to help me with that. Okay. So you can only be so successful until you actually, put a good team of people around you. Build a business family, the way I like to think about it. So those are my goals, and I have some number of transaction goals for next year, but those are secondary. The first goals are just getting good people around me that I like to work with, that are very capable, that I trust, and that are good friends. So and I've been blessed to with a lot of opportunities to get around some great people right now, especially where I'm at Keller Williams McLean. Some of the top agents in the country. That's the #1 Keller Williams office in the country as well. Wow. So I couldn't have picked a better office to work out of. So a lot of great things are happening and falling into place. So as far as the market, we're very excited because this year's definitely been a turnaround year, and it's only going to get better next year. So, again, we're always preparing for what's coming down the road, and I think there's going to be a lot of great things happening next year as well.
Okay. What do you see in the market now happening? That's the question that I wanted to ask you. So I know we all know the markets went down. So you're saying that now it's going back up again steadily?
As a whole nationwide, we've already bottomed out. And of course, there's still a lot of markets that you're going to see pockets of depreciation. Places like Detroit and stuff.
Well, Detroit, it looks like Detroit.
Really hard, and then you can buy a house for $1 in some.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll get on the plane after this then. I'll go and buy
selling it or renting it out is going to be a little hard. But
you
I
can have
put
it,
you in touch
but
with
there's nothing to do with it. Doing something with the other side of the story.
But here, like in Fairfax County, we're doing great. As Fairfax County as a whole, the average sales price is about $655. It's up
the high 655?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's up about 7% over, this is through July.
Mm-hmm.
It's up, that number is up about 7% over this time last year.
Okay.
The time on market, the biggest indicator that I always look at is how quick these houses are selling. Like I said, that time's gone down about 41% over this time last year. So, but in general, the region and the country as a whole, it's gonna, we're gonna still see some more appreciation in markets as a whole around here. It's gonna be steady. We're not gonna see double-digit increases like we did in the second quarter. In May and June, April, May, and June, it was just nuts out there. A lot of markets have gone up about 10-15% over the same time last year. It's cooled off a little bit. A lot of it has to do with the rates have gone up. Depending on what kind of program, they've gone up anywhere between half a point to a point. So that's kind of kept a lot of people from buying. So that's why some of the sales have cooled off. But it's still a strong market. It's still a seller's market. So there's, and those values are steadily climbing back up. And one of the reasons our inventory is so low is because a lot of the people in this area bought at the top of the market, 7-8 years ago. And then the bottom market, the market bottomed out. There's a lot of foreclosures. A lot of those foreclosures were bringing those values down.
Still, at this time, we have a lot of foreclosures still?
People get foreclosed on all the time, but lenders are working with buyers or homeowners to modify their loans. There are short sales that are, which is another option for people as opposed to going into foreclosure, because banks don't want to foreclose. It costs them a lot of money. They'd rather take a little bit of a loss instead of a huge loss and do the write-off. But it's, we're steadily starting to see a little more inventory trickle back on the market because of those values are coming up slowly, or not slowly and surely, but there's a lot of people that were underwater before that are starting to see are coming up for air, like, oh, well, I can sell now without having to take a loss or actually make a little profit. So little by little, we're seeing more people come back on the market.
Okay.
So, and again, but although it's a seller's market, if you're a buyer, there's still opportunity there. Just have to be a little more aggressive, work with an agent that knows how to position you for success. It's getting your financing in place, working with a reputable bank, trying to put as much money down as possible, minimum amount of contingencies. Those are all the things that I prepare a client for.
Gotcha.
And just let them know what the reality is of the market out there before they jump in there. Because there's a lot of people that they just jump in there and they put an offer on a house and it's gone before they even knew it, because they're trying to lowball it too.
Gotcha.
You can't lowball a whole lot right now, especially closer you get into town like Arlington and McLean, Old Town, stuff like that. Most of those properties are going for pretty close to list. And some of them are even going 2 to 3% over list price, depending on the subdivision. So yeah, it's a great market to be in, very active, good time to jump in.
Okay, good. Excellent, thank you. Well, folks, I want to mention while we are there, the Breakfast Club we have every Thursday. Soon we'll have Elliott there joining us.
Yes, definitely.
He has threatened to do that. I know he's going to succeed very soon.
Yes. Progress.
Progress, you got that right. We host them the second or third Thursday of the month in Fairfax at the Old Town Hall, 3999 University Drive. And also, the next one, I'm not sure when you'll see this program, will be on the September 19, if not October the 10th. I also want to mention our upcoming expo, which will be on December the 6th. And on that, I have news for you. We'll be at the Maison Inn, George Mason University. Yes, on December 6th. We want to have 100 exhibitors there, 400 to 500 business people. You are all welcome. And if your business exhibit, we still have room for you to come and get a booth. You can see our website there, which is ultbizexpo.com, ultbizexpo.com. Any last word, Elliott, you would like to leave with the audience?
Well, I'm obviously, I love what I do. I'm passionate about my business and the people I work with. And if you or anyone you know needs help with real estate, just some simple questions, I'm always here to help. Okay. I don't worry. I worry about the transaction later. My concern is the client and guiding them, even if it's sending them elsewhere. So.
Definitely. You'll see his website there, his name and website. Yeah, please absolutely contact him. I want to thank you for tuning in. We have further program coming. Again, my name is Basil. It was a pleasure for being your host, and I definitely know you know more now about real estate. On that note, have a productive day. Bye-bye.